Hello, Blues and Heroes. Today we are going to react to August 2025 JW Broadcasting. And also, sorry if the quality of the video is bad. It's because I didn't want to lose storage. So let's react.
We warmly welcome all of you to JW Broadcasting. This month's theme is Imitate Jehovah's Generosity. Our program will bring us closer to our great God Jehovah. Here's a sample. What will you do in paradise? Some of our young ones share what they look forward to in the new world.
Well, I look forward to seeing lions eat other people.
And how their hope draws them to Jehovah. The book of Hosea can teach us profound truths if we know how to find them. We'll explore Hosea together and learn how to dig for our own treasures. You Christian sisters are beautiful examples of compassion, self-sacrifice, humility, and so much more. But at times, some of you may feel that others don't notice what you do. This month's music video will assure you that your brothers and sisters love and appreciate you very much. There's much to look forward to in this edition of JW Broadcasting. Humans are born with a strong inclination to imitate. In fact, very young infants have been observed imitating facial expressions. That's amazing. Makes me think of an experience I had some 40 years ago when Susan...
Wow, Stephen, I knew you were old, but not this old.
What are you doing? He said, I can't do like Brother Let. I'll never be a circuit overseer. Well, I'm sure he soon learned that voluminous facial expressions are not a requirement for circuit work. In fact, they could be a disadvantage. By the way, thank you for putting up with me all these years.
You are not welcome.
Small child learned to walk, feed himself, and talk. He learns by imitating his parents and others. However, there's one type of imitating that does not come automatically or even easily. It's identified at Ephesians 5:1. It says, "Therefore become imitators of God as beloved children." Notice the word become. We are not born as imitators of God. Because of inherited imperfection, we aren't even born with an inclination to become an imitator of God. Genesis 8:21 says, "For the inclination of the heart of man is bad from his youth up." Therefore, it takes earnest effort to become an imitator of God. But it's well worth the effort, and Jehovah will help us. What blessings will we personally reap if we become an imitator of God? The greatest blessing, Jehovah will see that we're trying to be like Him, and He will love us and draw close to us. Also, the more we learn about Jehovah and strive to be like Him, the more we'll love Him, and the closer we'll draw to Him. Cultivating godly qualities will result in improved relations with others. Imitating godly qualities will make us a better person overall. The more we're like Jehovah, the happier we'll be. That's how He created us.
All right, little boy.
Those are just a few of the blessings we'll reap if we become an imitator of God. In our publications, More than 40 different qualities of Jehovah have been identified and discussed. But in this discussion, let's examine just one. We'll discuss the theme, Imitate Jehovah's Generosity. Generosity is an aspect of Jehovah's love. Unquestionably, Jehovah God is the most generous giver in the universe.
Okay, so can I get video games, please? Okay, I'm just kidding, so yeah.
Let's talk about this. Eons and eons ago, Jehovah God was all alone. And even though it's impossible for us to comprehend, he wasn't lonely or lacking anything, but because of love, he generously chose to share the gift of life with others. He decided to become a father, a creator. Logically, he began by creating a son with whom he could directly enjoy fellowship. As we know, this son became known as the Word.
Yeah, just like John 1 verse 1 says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
He chose to further expand his family by creating millions of angelic sons who could also directly associate with him. Then amazingly, further down the stream of time, because of love, he again chose to expand his family. These children were a lower form of life, but ones who were made in his image and whom he loved deeply. Of course, we're talking about Adam and Eve, the original parents of all of us. If Jehovah had not created them, none of us would ever have been born.
Well, actually, the world is 300 billion years old, and there were skulls found at that time, so there were more people before them.
We wouldn't be able to enjoy any of Jehovah's other marvelous blessings. Let's now talk about Jehovah's generosity when it comes to physical gifts. Every good gift and every perfect present is from above. Think for a moment about the planet we live on. Jehovah created the earth as a beautiful and unique home for us. It has all the right conditions to sustain life, including the oxygen and water cycles that continually recycle essential resources. If the earth were closer to the sun, all the water would boil off and the planet would be a barren rock. Conversely, if it were farther from the sun, the water would freeze. And
Finally, real science.
iceberg. Jehovah placed the earth at the perfect location, often called the Goldilocks zone.
As if in Goldilocks and the
Two,
Three Bears.
About the marvelous gift of our human bodies. Even in our imperfect state, as mentioned at Psalm 139:14, we are wonderfully made. Isn't it brilliant how our skin is designed to heal when we cut, scrape, or bruise it? When we scratch, scrape, or dent our car, does it heal itself? Can you imagine what we would look like if every time we damaged our skin, it just stayed that way?
I guess this is how I would look like.
We'd begin to look pretty rough in just a short period of time.
True.
And isn't it amazing how the skin allows water to exit the body in the form of perspiration, but at the same time, it doesn't allow water to enter the body when we take a bath?
Wait, that almost looks like AI for a moment.
Ponder for a moment about how food is not only nutritious, but it's also delicious. This makes fueling our bodies very enjoyable. Jehovah could have made eating like putting gasoline in a car, a necessary function, but void of enjoyment. Think of all the tasty varieties of food. as just one example. How many varieties of grapes are there?
1,000?
According to the Food and Agriculture Organization, there are about 10,000 different grape varieties worldwide.
Dang it, I got it
Jehovah
wrong.
could have given us just 2 varieties, red and green. But why do we have some 10,000 varieties? Because of Jehovah's voluminous generosity. But now we ask, how can we imitate Jehovah's generosity in giving physical gifts? It's obvious that Jehovah has put a lot of thought into his gift giving so that his gifts are practical and beneficial. Likewise, we should prayerfully meditate so that our gifts are useful. Not all gifts are practical. One brother gave this example. A puppy might make a fine gift to a young one living in a rural setting, but it's a terrible gift to a Bethelite.
But I don't see any of your people avoiding dogs.
Or shelter. We don't just say, go in peace, keep warm, and well fed. No, we apply Proverbs 3:27, which says, do not withhold good from those to whom you should give it, if it is within your power to help. In addition to helping brothers in need directly, we can indirectly help them by making donations to the worldwide work. The governing body prayerfully strives to use wisely these precious, dedicated funds to help our dear brothers who've been afflicted by natural or man-made disasters and who urgently need suitable kingdom halls and
How are
assistance
kingdom halls
in
gonna
many
help?
other ways. Speaking of the need for kingdom halls, as just one example, please look at these pictures from the Philippines. Here are 6 before and after photographs. And what do you think was the individual average cost of these 6 new, simplified, but dignified kingdom halls?
Alright, how are kingdom halls even going to help? Like, kingdom halls didn't help for me at all. So, wait, do they really provide shelter? Because I remember there's this one time, like, I went downstairs, like, there were food in the kingdom hall, and that I even got to eat there, unlike upstairs. Like, yeah, I literally got to eat. There was Coca-Cola and cupcakes. Well, now there is, but before that there was like orange juice. That's it. Orange juice. I don't know. Why would you keep only orange juice in the fridge? I don't know.
Are recurring. What's one way to imitate this aspect of Jehovah's giving? Well, 1 Corinthians 16:2 says, on the first day of every week, each of you should set something aside according to his own means. In harmony with this scriptural principle, many have chosen to set something aside each month by scheduling recurring online donations. But now let's briefly contemplate Jehovah's spiritual gifts, which are even more impressive. Think about the Bible. Where would we be without it? Lost, hopeless, floundering. We'd have to learn by experience.
Alright, even though I still believe in God and the Bible, well, some of the Bible, I just don't agree that the world is like 6,000 years old. And I don't know about the Tower of Babel because, like, they confused their languages, like, into multiple languages when languages actually evolve over time. So, yeah. And even though I still believe in God, though, there are some people who are without the Bible and their lives are perfectly fine.
26 describes it as a helper, teacher, and a remembrancer. It is the most powerful force in the universe, and Jehovah gives it to us generously. Consider for a moment the resurrection hope. It strengthens us in time of great distress, when death takes a loved one, or when we face death ourselves.
Alright, so if you notice, all Christians believe that the world will be destroyed and all of God's servants will go to heaven, but the bad ones will go to hell with Satan. But Jehovah's Witnesses believe that nobody will go to heaven or hell. Well, only 104. Bruh, why am I stuttering? My stuttering is crazy. Only 144,000 people will go to heaven, and that there is no hell, but there is destruction. And all of God's servants will live a peaceful life on earth, which is also what I believed when I was still a believer of this religion. So, yeah. Let's continue on.
Apple, what was Jehovah's greatest spiritual gift of generosity? The gift of his Son to purchase us from sin and death. And it wasn't just any angel whom Jehovah sent. It was his firstborn, his only begotten Son. What if you were tied to a chair and forced to watch the torture and execution of your most beloved child? That would be horrible. Of course, Jehovah was not tied, but because of his great love for us, he restrained himself and allowed the torture and execution of his most precious Son.
Yeah, so this is true. Jesus did die because so we can have eternal life, but not to be destroyed. And we could also will see that in this Caleb and Sophia episode, which we haven't covered yet, but I might cover it another time. But today we are watching the August 2025 JW broadcasting. So yeah. Just like John 3 verse 16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life."
And life are in the power of the tongue. Just a few words at the right time can make a tremendous difference in a person's life. They can cause a depressed one to stand with a positive hope for the future. Another way, freely give out forgiveness. Colossians 3:13 reminds us that Jehovah freely forgives us and that we must also do the same. The word freely in English means generously and can also mean without charge. Is there someone you can extend true forgiveness to in imitation of our generous God?
Yes, but not by shunning them to make them feel bad and just instantly come back.
Pray for a Bible study and then work in harmony with those prayers by searching diligently for a deserving one. Do we liberally train others and share the skills we have in the ministry and in the maintenance and construction of theocratic facilities? People in general often hoard the knowledge they have in order to protect their job. But like Jehovah, we gladly share the knowledge we have with others. During our discussion, we barely scratched the surface regarding Jehovah's generosity and how we can imitate him. We will learn forever about our great God and how we can better reflect his qualities. But in the meantime, the more we learn about him and the more closely we can imitate him, the richer, happier, and more satisfying our lives will be.
Yeah, but I don't think God would just shun his children so they can just like feel bad and just to let their family shun them, because like it can like bring really great depression if you're shunned by your family, and it can get on your mental health, because that kind of happened to me, sort of. But yeah, just because they don't believe in your religion doesn't mean you should just shun them like that.
What mattered most to me was that everything was just right. My apartment had to be spotless, and the dining table had to be full with different types of food, completely full.
I was worried that our apartment wasn't big enough to accommodate guests, not even for a meal.
I was often wondering if we would have enough time for invitations, or if it would be too stressful.
Before, my financial situation was much better. Currently, it's not good, but I manage.
The brothers and sisters are such a precious gift from Jehovah. This is truly the family he gave us.
The brothers and sisters have shown us so much love, and I want to do all I can to express my gratitude. The best way to do so is just by spending time together.
We're happy to take time for our brothers. So many of the friends live alone or just want someone to spend time with.
It's nice when we can show hospitality in our homes, but I've learned that hospitality starts in the Kingdom Hall.
Alright, if they say everything blah 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 this starts from the Kingdom Hall, I'm just gonna jump off a cliff.
After all, Jehovah has invited all of us to be his guests. I prefer to stand right by the entrance. This way I can notice any interested ones that come to the meetings.
I might. Wow, thanks, Spider-Man.
Everybody gets one. Tell him, Peter.
Apparently everybody gets one.
Bingo.
Beautiful smile. And bring someone who you know very well, but who I don't know.
Man, I would say the same thing too.
Sat down to eat, my friend said to me, "Stephanie, pasta is my favorite food."
Hey, no fair. I want some pasta too.
Live a simple life. To host brothers, I need to spend some money. However, there are leaflets with special offers. I check them to see what's discounted. The friends are happy, and I didn't spend a lot of money.
Cool.
We've had several brothers spend the night here. They come for Pioneer School, Elders School, and other theocratic projects.
Of course they can go to Pioneer School. Well, I don't know what Elder School is, but if any of you don't know what Pioneer School is basically when you have 1 year of pioneering and then you go to Pioneer School, and it's a special school where they learn about Jehovah. Well, it's not special if you think about it, because they have the same Watchtower magazine over and over and over. They have the same Watchtower propaganda. And let me show you like a clip from like ExJW Panda Tower to basically show you, because I don't have a full explanation.
To go to school. Not that type of school.
It's crazy how Caleb reacts so negatively to the word school, because we've seen him and his sister endure so much bullying and harassment since they isolate themselves from everyone there.
A special school that they attend with other pioneers, where they dig into the Bible and learn how to become an even better friend of Jehovah. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool. Caleb has no idea what Dad is talking about. Pioneer School is a 1-week course that you get to attend once you've been pioneering for 1 year. And believe me, it's nothing special. The study program is based on the same old Watchtower publications everyone has access to. It's just, repackaged in a fancy little book. Although I do have to admit, the food that was served during the lunch break was absolutely fire, and it was a really nice gesture for a congregation to come together to cook for the students. I pioneered for 1 year, and I think that was probably the highlight.
So there's the explanation.
Our friendships with each other, but also with Jehovah as well.
We live in such insecure times. We really don't know what life situations we will face next. Not only are we affected by these situations, but others are also. Making the best out of the time we have together helps to build friendships, strong and meaningful friendships.
Or you could find out that this religion is a cult.
And our brothers and sisters. Yes, by generously extending hospitality, we strengthen the bonds of love among us. We need that close bond with our brothers and sisters, especially when we suffer a painful, unexpected tragedy. Marcella, Maite, and Jackie faced such a crisis. As we hear their story, notice how their strong faith helped them and their family endure.
I'm from Colombia. I have 5 more sisters. I learned the truth from a very young age.
Alright, so when Jehovah's Witnesses just scream out truth, it just screams out cult. It just screams out cult. That's it. It screams out cult. Because most religions that mostly like to do this just like want you to join their religion most of the time. So that's why they mostly use truth, but all the other Christian religions, I don't know, because there are like some Christian cults out there which we will cover in some other videos. So yeah, when Jehovah's Witnesses say truth, they're just screaming out cults.
He would give each one of us what we needed and enjoyed. He used to take us for walks on the weekend, after the meeting, and after preaching. It was a privilege to have a father like that. Well, that day, I remember that we were at home. He was going to put the car in the garage. Some men came to the car and threatened him and my mom with machine guns to get him out of the car to kidnap him. We heard a noise. We all got scared and ran outside. And then I remember that my dad was on the ground and some men had shot him.
Honestly, if this story is like true, it kind of feel bad, but if this story is just fake so they can give examples of the truth, then like I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Meeting the very next day. That next week we had an assembly. We didn't miss it.
Of course.
So we wanted to follow that pattern that my dad had left. It was very difficult and complicated. But Jehovah always took first place in all the decisions we made. They were always made while thinking of Jehovah and the loyalty that my dad always had shown toward him. I carried on as if he was alive, trying to keep all my sisters together and in the truth, you know?
See, this is what happens when you're too indoctrinated and you start to believe this is the truth when it's really not in reality, and you always want to follow in your parents' steps that think that this religion is true when it's not, which makes it more indoctrinated. And I know that because it's somewhat happened to me. Like, I always want to keep in with my mom's steps of this religion, but then I stopped believing in the religion during February, and then I was no longer indoctrinated. But I was still a PMO that time, so yeah.
On our family to be split up, because that was not my dad's plan. His plan was for all of us to make it into the new world serving Jehovah together. All his efforts, all his life, and all that he devoted to Jehovah are not going to be in vain just because he was no longer with us. We couldn't let that all go away. My dad taught me so many simple things about creation, and about Jehovah that instilled love for Jehovah in me. That was something that I didn't know at that time was going to help me to move forward. But then I always say, wow, Dad's not here, but he left me another father, Jehovah. And that's what's helped me to move on. In paradise, what I long for the most is those last words that he said, Jehovah, my wife, my daughters, is to be able to say to him, look, here they are. We are all here. We made it. You did a good job.
As Maite said, their parents truly lived the truth. Their example nurtured in their children a deep love for Jehovah and built a sure hope in the promises to come. Parents, your efforts to build faith in your children can produce a lifetime of benefits. Listen to what these young ones say about the paradise.
In paradise, everyone is happy, they have fun, and it's a very beautiful place.
You can live forever in paradise, so you can become friends with everyone from all over the world and become one big family.
In paradise, there are mountains, forests, rivers, lots of flowers, and you can hear people singing and laughing.
Alright, so there's this Caleb and Sophia episode of like paradise, like, and the ransom and more of that. I'll cover those ones like soon.
Or try to bite you, so you can play with them and have fun. I want to have a race with the cheetahs in the paradise.
Alright, sometimes I forget how cringe little kids can be sometimes, where they're like cause that used to be me, cause when I was younger I was like the cringe one in the class, like in 4th grade and 5th grade, and I stopped that cause it was weird, and I'm literally almost a preteen. I'm going to become a preteen when I turn 11, like. And of course they're watching Caleb and Sophia, because when I still believed I would always watch Caleb and Sophia videos because I like them. And I remember when I was like only a baby, I don't know how I remembered that, because babies don't really remember much stuff from when they're young. And I remember for some reason when my aunt was putting on like a Caleb and Sophia episode of the Paradise episode here, and then I kept clicking out of it, and then my aunt was like, hey, and then she kept putting it back on. Yeah, that was kind of funny.
I want to live with my family and animals in a tree house with a swing and a slide. Here in paradise, birds are singing happily. This is me and my family.
Wait, that drawing is actually kind of cute.
Jehovah loves you, young ones. He wants you, your family, and all who love him to be in paradise. Learn all you can about the Bible, and when you do, you'll make Jehovah your best friend. The Bible is a treasure trove, but discovering its spiritual gems takes effort. To help us develop good personal study habits, the governing body is pleased to introduce a new series, Dig for Treasures.
Yep, you heard that right, boys and girls. That's the actual title.
See ya.
The book of Hosea is packed with spiritual treasure, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. It reveals aspects of Jehovah's personality, his sovereignty, and there's so much we can apply ourselves. We just have to know how to find the treasure.
In that case, let's dig into Hosea.
Love to. So a good way to start is by watching the Introduction to Hosea video. It gives an overview of the book, it helps us to understand the historical context, and most importantly, it shows how it connects to God's kingdom.
That's a great study tip.
Wait, this gives me nostalgia from that one Bible series like the governing body produced. It was like books of the Bible, I think. I can't remember what the title was, but we'll watch it somehow. Alright, so I'm going to read the book of Hosea for myself. Wait, so the word of the Lord. Hold on, I'm just going to read, dang it, I'll read up to like 10, so this video isn't that long. Because this is about to become like a 2-hour long video maybe. Alright. The word of the Lord that came unto Hosea, the son of Beri, in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz. Okay, I cannot read it.
What went through his mind, knowing that marital infidelity awaited him? Many who have gone through that circumstance say that it's an excruciating and devastating experience.
But that's not all. That verse also mentions have children of prostitution. So there were children involved. Hosea and Gomer had a son together, but later Gomer had 2 other children, likely out of wedlock. I wonder what that was like for Hosea.
Right? And if they weren't his, when did he find out? How did he feel taking care of these children? There's so many questions we can ask to make the account real.
Now, I've been asked this before, and I'm sure you have too. Why would Jehovah ask Hosea to put himself in such a painful family situation? It doesn't seem right. How would you respond to that?
Why is such an important question when we're digging for treasures? So think about it. Jehovah really told him why in that same verse where he commissioned him. Because by prostitution, the land has turned completely away from following Jehovah.
The All Scripture book says, Israel had been to Jehovah like a wife who had become unfaithful, committing fornication. Yet he would show his love for her and try to recover her. Hosea's wife Gomer could accurately illustrate this.
So, by having Hosea experience something similar to what Jehovah was going through with Israel, Hosea could better empathize and communicate how deeply the people had hurt Jehovah.
Yeah, I can only imagine the weight that gave to Hosea's words.
Now here's the big question. What does this reveal about Jehovah's personality? What stands out to you?
Here's something surprising about this account. How Jehovah told Hosea to take Gomer back. Hosea chapter 3 verse 1 says, Go once again, love the woman who is loved by another man and is committing adultery, just as Jehovah loves the people of Israel while they turn to other gods. Hosea taking Gomer back wasn't to be mechanical. Jehovah told Hosea to love this woman again.
Yeah, that's a much different response than simply pretending everything is okay. That's restoration.
So it shows that even though Jehovah was deeply hurt, he still loved Israel and wanted them to return. And not just out of obligation, he wanted to restore that loving, intimate relationship. That's Jehovah's loyal love.
What a glimpse into Jehovah's personality, and really, his sovereignty. He is not only loyal, he is a God of loyal love.
Outstanding. Okay, so the next step, make it personal.
The study tips on the back of the Watchtower suggest identify lessons and apply them. So what's the takeaway?
Disloyalty causes Jehovah so much pain. But the opposite is also true. When we imitate Jehovah's loyal love, he must be so pleased. So, when we do our best to maintain a loving atmosphere in our marriage, even though it isn't easy, or if we feel mistreated, when we are loyal to our brothers and sisters and work to restore a damaged relationship, even when they hurt us, we make Jehovah happy.
Yeah, we're imitating him.
It's not mechanical. It's an act of loyal love. We don't just forgive, we love.
Another takeaway. Maybe we've hurt Jehovah by our actions in the past. Those memories may stay with us even if we've repented and gained forgiveness. We might find it hard to forgive ourselves. But that's not how Jehovah wants us to feel. Just like with the Israelites, he still wants to be our God and assure us of his forgiveness and loyal love. Remembering this account can give us peace when we've made a mistake.
Look at what we can find with just a few steps. Getting an overview from the introduction video, asking questions to dig into the details and context, looking for what it teaches us about Jehovah's personality, and then making it personal. The book of Hosea is packed with such gems.
And we didn't even dig everything out of those verses. Why did Jehovah require Hosea to pay to buy Gomer back? What do the names of the children reveal about Jehovah? Why did Jehovah hold out a hope of a future king from David's line? How can I imitate Hosea's example of accepting challenging assignments? There is still so much there.
Then let's keep going. There's no end to the treasure we can find in the book of Hosea.
Well, I don't know.
Our friends, our workmates, and family, they see some of the good that we do. But no friend, relative, or even mate can see all the good that we do. But Jehovah does. Say, when we defend a friend who isn't there to defend themselves, or we resisted a temptation, or our prayers for others that only Jehovah knows about. And fortunately, we don't have to report every good deed to Jehovah. We're listing our prayers at night. Here's all the good things that we did that day. We're content with knowing that Jehovah saw them all and was pleased with us. Jesus was content with knowing that Jehovah saw and was pleased with what he was doing.
Alright, is that the same one or just another corrupted version of the Bible?
Sometimes, of course, it doesn't make a difference no matter what you say. You think of how Mephibosheth may have felt when slandered by Ziba to King David. Do you think Mephibosheth wished he had an eyewitness or a recording? You know, to kind of illustrate the power of an eyewitness, I want you to imagine a traffic accident. You're just sitting at a stop sign, and another car comes around the corner and runs right into you. Now, when the police come, shockingly, the person who ran into you says you ran into them.
Yeah, sort of like that happened to me, but in school. Besides, I can't even drive.
Listens as the other person testifies in detail how you ran into them. But before you can say anything, the judge says, "No, that is not what happened. I was walking on the sidewalk that day and I saw the whole thing." Now, who would imagine that the judge in your case actually was an eyewitness? You say to yourself, well, if I had known that, I wouldn't have been so worried about what was going to happen in court today. Now, while it's extremely unlikely that you're going to go to court and the judge is going to be an eyewitness for you,
True.
Demonstrate the peace of mind that we can have in knowing that Jehovah is an eyewitness to all that happens. So the lesson for us, when we're falsely accused, it is of great comfort for us to know that Jehovah was there that day and saw the whole thing. Now, knowing that Jehovah sees all the good that we do can also help us avoid putting on a pretense. Jehovah is not fooled by people who do good deeds just to be seen by others.
Yeah, that's basically you guys trying to fool Yahweh, being like, oh, I'm a good person or I'm a Christian, when in reality, you're not.
Saying, "Oh God, be gracious to me, a sinner." I tell you, this man went down to his home and proved more righteous than that Pharisee, because everyone who exalts himself will be humiliated, but whoever humbles himself will be exalted. So the Pharisee was trying to impress Jehovah with listing all of his so-called good deeds. And it's true, Jehovah sees all the good that we do, but he also sees the motive behind it. We never want to fool ourselves that simply doing good things that others can see does not hide who we really are from Jehovah. The lesson for us is the good things that we do are because we love Jehovah, not because we want praise or credit from others. Knowing that Jehovah sees all the good that we do also makes us comfortable with Jehovah as our judge. We're all going to be judged by Jehovah. Eventually, we'll all be judged as either worthy of life or judged as worthy of death. How comforting it is to know that Jehovah, the one who's going to make that life or death decision, is someone who knows everything.
Last time I checked, it's Jesus going to judge everyone because not just Yahweh is God, Jesus is God also. But there are some Jehovah's Witnesses who will not agree with me because they just switched it into a God instead of God in John 1 verse 1. Because most people don't believe Jesus is God. And there's not just Jehovah's Witnesses, but there's some people on Trinitarians, I think, that I don't know, but they explain how the Trinity is unbiblical and how it's pagan. Well, is it pagan? Who knows? Maybe it's not, maybe it is. I don't know.
We've made mistakes or sins. If we repent and we continue to try to do what is right, he still loves us. Now, I have no doubt that as you take some time to meditate on our text for today, you could come up with many more lessons to apply in our day-to-day lives by knowing that Jehovah is watching and seeing all the good that we do. You know, as we read earlier, Jesus said that Jehovah had not left him to himself, and Jehovah has not left us to ourselves. He is with us, he sees us, he knows us, and he loves us for all the good that we do.
Jehovah is generous in taking the time to see us, not as a large group of worshipers, but as unique individuals.
Yeah, but when someone's not a believer of your religion, you don't count them as unique, really. Because all you do is oh, they're false people, we should not associate with them. And when stuff that are bad happens, you do talk about them in your broadcast, but of course, you're only talking about the members in the Kingdom Hall. That's it. So you guys are not really generous.
That's how we see each of our hardworking sisters, too. This is beautifully expressed in this month's music video.
Well, prepare yourselves, boys and girls, because we are going to Cringe Town.
I'd like to take this time just to let you know I am inspired by the faithfulness you've always shown. With pen and paper, I put down these words to help you understand that we all can see your worth. Whenever you find that you're hard on yourself, I hope these words help. We see you, sister, always a smile on your face. You keep on going, though you may doubt your precious place. If you could only see yourself through our eyes, then you would know how we see you. We see you, sister.
Well, the beginning gave me chills.
Looking out to help behind the scenes, without the hope of praise for all you do for those in need. The gifts you give in secret have become known. You've lifted others up with so much love as they have grown. You think it's not much, but there are so many times you have touched our lives. We see you, sister,
gosh, not all the women just smiling in the camera, acting like they're not being held hostage. And also, who wrote these lyrics? Because they clearly have no effort into them.
We love you dearly. In this month's program, we were encouraged to imitate Jehovah's generosity by showing hospitality. We uncovered a valuable lesson about loyal love in the book of Hosea. And we were reminded that the hard work parents put into training their children produces strong faith and a sure hope.
Or just pure indoctrination.
We travel to French Guiana in South America. This is a lush, tropical land. Well over 90% of French Guiana is covered in forest, fed by heavy rains from December to July. An extraordinary variety of plants, mammals, birds, and insects thrive here.
Oh, seriously, you did not have to show that.
Over the next 2 years, he joyfully shared the good news in villages, gold mines, and trading posts. Though his stay was temporary, he planted many seeds of truth.
Or you planted little seeds of indoctrination and getting people to come to your religion. I think that's what you meant, maybe.
Nearly 4 times the number of publishers. Although most of the population is concentrated in and around Cayenne, our brothers work hard to find people everywhere.
Yes, but you still didn't find a lot of people to get in your religion, and here's why some people might not join Jehovah's Witnesses. Because number one, they are not interested in joining. Second, they have a religion of their own. Or third, it's just they already know it's a cult. Or four, they've been in it and realized it was a cult, so they left.
Can often be found on the table. This is a stew made of the pulp of arawa fruit and is typically mixed with smoked meats and fresh seafood. As we depart French Guiana, we receive warm greetings from our brothers and sisters who meet at the Saint Laurent du Maroni Kingdom Hall and from the remote translation office in Cayenne. They say to us, "Nu kotazat," we love you. From the world headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses, this is JW Broadcasting.